Hi guys, in this video I want to explain how to learn game development. I want to share my experience with you on how to start developing games as an indie game developer. I assume here that you don't have a team of developers, you have your computer at home and you ask yourself what is needed to create my own video game. So let's get started. The first point is passion. If you decided to become a game developer, you have a certain motivation to do this. If the motivation is that you could be a rich guy when developing a top game, or somebody said to you that it's cool not to work in a 8 to 5 job, then you have, in my opinion, the wrong motivation. Being a good game developer means to me having a passion for video games and the strong will to create one by yourself. This leads to the next point. You should know which games you like and which game you like to create. This includes which kind of game it should be. Is it an FPS game or third-person player? On which platforms the game should run? If on mobile or desktop? Should it be platform independent? Will it be a 3D game or 2D game, and so on and so forth. These things are called the requirements of the game. And as soon as you know them, you are ready to decide which game engine to choose. Okay, and now you ask, what is a game engine? Let me explain this as simple as possible. A game engine is your development environment for creating your game. It has editors for creating your levels. You can import your images or 3D models into the environment, control your animations, program your game logic, and all this stuff. Be sure that the engine you choose matches your requirements. Don't use it because somebody said, oh, this engine is so cool, this engine is the best. Know your requirements and the possibilities of the engine and double check if these conform to your needs. You have to know your engine very well and you have to know how it really works. It's like you have to become an expert to this engine. Choose it wisely because it's a fundamental decision. Beside of that, I recommend to use a popular game engine like Unity or Unreal Engine with an active community and a really good documentation. Absolutely important. Now let's come to the skills. Which skills do you need to create your game? Start with level design. Now let's define what a level is. It is your environment where your game takes place and where your characters are moving around. It's very important, no matter if you are creating a 2D or 3D game, to be able to create this environment. Take Unity or Unreal Engine for example. They come with terrain editors for sculpting in and texturing your landscapes, drag models into your scene, set up the lighting and effects and all this stuff. Creating a level is really fun. It's like painting a picture and doing compositing at the same time. You will love it, I promise. The next part is creating models and animations. When developing a 3D game, you would definitely like to create your own characters. This is where sculpting and modeling comes into play. I can recommend tools like Blender for creating game characters and other models. I have to say the learning curve is really high because when using Blender the first time you will have a feeling like this is unusable, nothing works for me as I would expect it. It could be frustrating in the beginning, the learning curve is like that here. But as soon as you reach this area here where the red circle is, you will become and stay a Blender fanatic. You can use Blender for modeling, texturing and animating as well, and the best thing is that you can use it for free. And here's my favorite section, programming. Well, I'm a programmer for almost 20 years now, so of course I have the opinion that learning how to code is of major importance for game development. Some guys told me that they don't like the syntax of programming languages, or they tell me that they love developing games but they hate coding. In my opinion, the programming part is a core to developing a game, okay? It's just essential to implement game logic. Of course, there are great tools in the engines for visual scripting or visual programming like the blueprints of Unreal Engine, which are really great tools. You can use them instead of writing, for example, C++ code, but this is also coding. To me, it's just a different representation. So to sum it up, learn how to code till you love it. It's a great training for your brain and makes you a complete person. Just kidding. No, really, coding can be real fun. And here's a really important point. It's obvious and a common principle that practicing makes the expert. I recommend to start small by creating a simple project as a kind of microcosm or template for the game you actually would like to create. Here's an example. Let's say you want to develop a 3D horror FPS game, okay? You love this kind of games. And then you could start to create a small terrain in your engine. Then you create the FPS player and walk around in your world. Looks great, cool. Then the next task will occur automatically. How about adding textures to your terrain? How about adding trees and grass? So let's add some buildings, streets, walls. Then you might think the scene is too bright for a horror game, and you need to get into the topic on how to use lighting. And then you recognize that you're alone in this world, so how about creating some characters? And so on and so forth. When you have a problem to solve, watch tutorials about it, read developer forums, the documentation of your engine, books, and try to get in touch with other developers. This is how you practice and increase your knowledge every time you work on your project. And of course, always enjoy practicing. This is crucial. And here's my last point. It's called never give up. Being a game developer is not a big party or a picnic. You have to learn a lot of stuff. So be prepared for hard work. There will be situations or moments when you think, I don't understand this is too complicated for me, I will never get it. No, away with these thoughts, okay? Don't give up, it's worth it, and you can and you will do it. And keep in mind that there are people around that can help you, and step by step you will become an expert to topics like 3D animations, virtual effects, sculpting, modeling, artificial intelligence and whatnot, but never ever give up. Okay guys, these were my advices for learning how to develop your own games. If you liked the video and the channel, then please subscribe to not miss a future tutorial, and if you think this channel is useful, then please think about supporting me on my Patreon. Thanks for watching and see you soon.